Hey, welcome to Building Talk, the podcast for the resident manager, the general manager, the property manager, and all building service professionals.
Very nice, you did it.
I'm Bo. This is Frank, the one and only.
How you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I haven't seen you in
You
like
know,
30 days.
And seriously, it's been a long time.
That's been a while.
But tonight, I have something very special to announce.
What?
Okay, can you
Right
get a
now?
drum roll? You know what? Fuck, I'm not giving you because I'm not going to do that because you just said that. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know by now, okay,
You got it.
Frank has started his own newsletter.
Yes, I have. Thank you very much.
Tell it, Frank.
Thank you. Yes, it's on Substack. It's called Let's Be Frank, and it's all about being a resident manager, how to become a resident manager, how to become a superintendent, because I know Bo doesn't like the term superintendent, but there are a lot of guys who are superintendent. And I also have a little section there, which is going to be used for homeowners. So if you have little questions, anything that's going on in your home, I'm going to have the answer.
Your home.
Anybody's home. Co-ops, condos, anybody who owns a home can also use the newsletter.
So the newsletter
It
is
comes out once a week. Every Saturday I'm posting it.
right.
It's on Substack. You can always reach out to us and we'll get you all.
What is Substack?
Substack is a platform for where you can, like, Facebook and or I don't know, any platform that you use, but this is for writers really more than anything else. So if you're writing stuff, people, and it's growing leaps and bounds because it's been around for about 4 years. So if you're writing a book, if you're writing poetry, if you want to just whatever's on your mind, Substack is there for you to use, and it's reaching out to the public.
Wow. Francis Langston Hughes Gonzalez.
Wow.
You're the new poet.
I could be.
You're like the building talk poet.
That's what it is.
Building talk poet.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to use that. The building talk poet.
I just want to say he didn't invite me
Yes.
to be on this newsletter. He didn't say anything about the newsletter.
Yes, I did.
He said he was writing a book.
No, I said I'm.
Never mentioned it, but that's only 40 years together. This is how divorces start, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
my
I
God.
just want you to know. But where can they subscribe?
To Substack.
And how do they get Substack?
You can go. That's a good question.
Is it
I-
www?
No, I don't think it's like that. It's really you just. I guess you can put in www.
You
Substack.
freaking putz. He just puts this whole thing out on a platform he can't
It's looking
even
good,
get to.
though, but it is on Substack. So you can go on Substack. Let's be frank. You'll find me, and we'll go.
Look in the app stores. Come on.
Whatever.
What's the name of it?
Substack? Let's be frank.
You're still going with Let's Be Frank?
Yeah, I
You
like
can't
that.
do that.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
I can totally can.
That's our show.
And that's why I included you.
Wait till you see and hear from my lawyers. Moskowitz, and Moskowitz.
What's good?
But anyway, I digress. Frank, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm telling you out there, people, you need to read this newsletter.
Absolutely.
If anything, Frank is a master storyteller and a master of
No, boy. Just
stories and
yeah,
telling and just
listen.
just to support him.
And you know what? And because he gets a little perturbed sometimes. But you know what? I'm writing the newsletter because of the experiences that I've had and the experiences that Bo has shared with me and him and I together 40 years. I mean, the knowledge that I'm bringing out is because of what him and I have gone through. So it's the truth. See how he turns away from me? They say, look.
Ladies and gentlemen. But enough of this stupid stack.
Substack.
Thank you. Enough of the Substack.
Oh, no.
This is what we hear
See what I-
about tonight.
see what I-
Something near and dear to every resident manager's heart. Every resident manager has this.
Oh, yes.
Every resident manager pulls their hair out.
Yes.
Okay?
Case in point.
Because of these. Okay? Probably some of the most misunderstood and
Yeah.
so needed in the building. We are talking about pumps and motors. And
Yes.
who do we have today? Miss Jamie Gale from Pump and Motor.
Yes.
Owner extraordinaire. And you guys, look at that.
Even the microphone.
Is that a sign?
Mic drop. Wow, we're falling apart. Look at this. We're going to put that there, my glasses. You can tell we're live.
We are live, and Frank is going to get murdered.
And Frank is going to get murdered.
That's what happens when you mess with Moskowitz, and Moskowitz. So,
And when she finishes introducing her, I'm going to give you a quick story about pumps because what you said
Thank
is so
you.
right
Yeah.
and so important. You're 100% right. Yes.
And Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Please
welcome.
pardon
you.
our intrusion.
I love it. I love everyone.
But you know, the people out there know we do this all the time. But we are very serious about our buildings. We are very serious about the infrastructure. We're very serious about maintenance.
Yep.
And listen, we know a lack of if we're gonna any lack of maintenance is gonna get you in a lot of trouble.
100%.
So let's talk about pump and motor.
Yes.
How did you start off with this?
So I come from a lineage of pumps and motors, I suppose. My father had a pump and motor company.
Oh, awesome.
And for many years, I was in business development and did sales for him. Also had other jobs and other things. It was a part-time thing, helping out. He had a partner, and in 2018, he asked me to come and help him do some collections. There was a bit of a money flow issue.
Ooh.
And so I came in.
So you're the muscle of it.
Well, I came in and I never left because it was a lot more than a money flow issue.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of things happened. There was a lot of chaos that needed to be worked out. It worked itself out.
Right.
I was able to right a lot of wrongs because it was a viable business.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the partner didn't do the right thing. We got rid of him.
Oh, see ya.
Turned everything around in about a year, and then COVID came.
Oh,
COVID honestly was a blessing though, because it helped me to kind of get rid of some dead weight that otherwise wouldn't have been able to be removed.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point, after getting through COVID was hard. My dad's older.
Yeah.
He wanted to retire,
Mhm.
and I wanted to start something fresh because the old entity was a little tainted.
Right.
And not only
Yeah.
that, if I was going to start something, I very much wanted it to be clean so that when I applied to be a woman-owned certified business, there was no question about it. Because pumps and motors, there is no certification
Right.
or licensing. It's a very niche industry, and
Oh, you're right.
the cities and counties
Mhm.
don't understand it. So if it's pulling teeth because we don't fall under plumbing, we don't
Right.
fall under
Electrical.
HVAC, we don't fall under boiler
Mechanical.
repair or mechanical. It
Really?
doesn't
I would-
exist.
I would think you would be falling under electrical.
Nope.
Not even. Wow. So it really is. I didn't know that. You see, I've
That
always
makes sense.
it does make sense, but I always thought pumps and motors. It's more towards electrical. I know you got they
Doesn't
use
fall
it
into like a fire.
well, because you use them
suppression
for
system,
you use
stuff
them
like
for
that.
plumbing.
Yeah,
You use them for HVAC. You use them for
Yeah.
everything.
It's a little
You know.
bit of everything, but
Right.
its own little entity.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing.
so it was easier for me to start fresh.
Wow.
So I found a big, beautiful space with a shop and
Nice.
started.
Oh, man, where is the shop? located?
Hicksville.
Hicksville.
On Long Island.
Ah,
Mhm.
interesting. Okay.
And I want to, and like what Bo was saying before when he introduced Jamie, about pumps and the importance of the pumps. I had a building where our main domestic pump went at 2 a.m.
Hmm.
That is an unwritten rule. That's
That's
every building has it.
On a Friday night, of course, it's always on Friday. And if it's on Friday, 2 in the
o'clock.
morning, everybody's running back. We're trying to keep this thing, we're pumping this thing by hand. We got one that's already on the last leg, one that went down. I mean, and it was a nightmare getting people in to do it. And we did. We found a good company that at the time, it was quite a few years ago. They were with us until 7 o'clock in the morning. They found one in the shop. They brought the other one in. But without it, you are dead in the water. And everybody and their mother is calling you. What's going on? When is it going to get fixed? What's happening? I can't take a shower. I can't get coffee. My water, my people.
Oh
It is a complete and utter nightmare. And
no boilers, no hot water,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
nothing.
And I recommend it. But of course, look, budgets are budgets. I get that, but I recommend that if your building is healthy, where you have a healthy budget and you have a surplus, have one somewhere in your building sitting there waiting, because it may not be a year from now, it may not be a month from now, it could be 10 years from now. When you need it,
Oh boy.
you better have it. And I mean, we learned firsthand, and these things were beasts. I don't remember what UPMs were, but these things were beasts.
We
And-
were we were very lucky because we lost two of the pumps. We were able to keep it running on one pump until, and it's so ironic. You know, it takes you a year or two to get a proposal together, to get new pumps in, to get a new, because our certification was low, but also the pumps themselves were aged. You do all this work, and I was down to one pump. If this thing went, I would have no water
You
anywhere.
don't want to look at it.
I don't want to look at it. I didn't want to touch it.
Right.
People go near it. Get away!
Yeah.
You know, nobody drinks it, and we managed to do it. So you know what? It's miraculous sometimes.
Mm.
Anyway, how you started in the business? You knew about it. Obviously, working part time, you knew about it. How was it really tough? Because you're coming after COVID.
Mm.
You did get rid of some people. Okay, now did you have to rehire other people, or how did you? What was your plan? You know.
My plan was to make it bigger and better than anything that they could have had, to be honest, and to make it as optimally run as humanly possible.
Okay.
Pump companies in general don't have an amazing reputation. We all know this, you know, and it's a weird, again, the niche comes in. It's, you know, we're kind of like the stepchild that's forgotten about.
Right.
And I wanted to change that. I wanted people to know that they had a reliable place to come where there was no BS, that we were responsive and did quality work and were tidy and all of the things that you want from your service companies. And COVID was bizarre with hiring people because nobody wanted to work.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
they still don't.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's like a switch went off,
Yeah.
and everybody. I don't
Right. They
know.
want to work from home, so if you can bring the pump to their house, they'll fix it from there.
Hey, listen, I'm not surprised if they asked for that.
That was pulling teeth for at least 2 years.
Really?
Trying, at least. I mean, it's still pulling teeth. We hire people,
Sure.
and they just don't show
They
up.
don't show up.
Um,
Or know what they're doing. Right? I mean, you find a guy, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, honestly,
You can train that.
our
They gotta
our
fix
motto
it.
is: if you've touched a tool, then you can fix a pump. You know, like
Right.
it's not rocket science.
Right,
There
right.
is, you know, a nuance to certain things for sure,
Yeah.
but everybody is teachable. And it's not like electricity or plumbing or things like that. It's,
Mhm.
you know, when you know one, you start to pick it up, or you should, depending on the
Right.
human.
Right.
And we actually prefer to train somebody that has less experience,
Okay.
so that they're not putting
Okay.
their stuff on
They're
it.
moldable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
right. You're right.
But you have these kids now that are coming out of trade schools
Mhm.
that are promised hundreds of dollars an hour and have no experience, and you're like, no, that's not how it's going to work.
Right.
And then they don't want to get their hands dirty.
Right. Right.
That
Oh, no.
generation
Oh, yes.
is challenging also. So it's always an uphill battle, but when we do find people, they stick around. If you've worked with Pump and Motor, you know the faces that are with the company. Every once in a while, we'll have, you know, a new guy come in, and there is a really nice retention for the people, because again, it is an excellent place to work, if I say so myself.
There you go.
You know, but it's clean. You walk into into most shops
Right,
that are run by men, it's not clean.
It's
My
that
place
area.
is immaculate, and the people that work for me actually care.
Right.
You know, and we are cleaning the shop every day, and we're making sure that everything is ready to go and functional and on the ready. And that makes a big difference.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like supply-wise, what do you keep in the shop ready to go? Anything from a half horsepower motor to
Yes, we don't really keep a lot of stuff. The typical things, you know, we'll have the float balls and
Right.
all of the emergency type of things, but our distributors basically hold it for
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
We don't need, I mean, we could, I have plenty of space, but I don't need to.
Yeah,
It's
why would-
easy enough to just call our guy and pick it up on the way to the city.
Oh, okay.
Now, Jane, you said something very interesting before. You said after COVID, I'm looking to expand. I'm looking to grow this business. Where a lot of businesses went the other way. They were very careful in hiring people back and trying to grow because there still is a lot of uncertainty around businesses. And, and here you are coming in here. All right, Dad, I'll be taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get hit with COVID. And now you're like, you know what? We want to grow. We want to be. I mean, what was that your mentality from the beginning, or?
Yes, I am definitely of a growth mindset person, but because this is a niche industry, there isn't a tremendous amount of competition.
Mm-hmm.
And when the quality of work speaks for itself, then you start to edge yourself out.
Right.
And it's not like plumbers and electricians where there's thousands of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunity. Being in the pump business, it's really, I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but it's recession proof.
Mm-hmm.
You need us.
Oh.
And there's only so many that you can
Right.
call. Mm-hmm. So I see that as an opportunity more than anything. That's not scary to me. And there's plenty of business for everybody too. So
it's New York, damn it.
Exactly.
Well, you know?
I mean, you guys are based in Long Island, so do you guys also find yourself in Connecticut besides being in New York City and stuff, or is it?
We're mostly in the city. We dabble a bit in Jersey. Connecticut doesn't really call us. I think there's a couple mechanical guys, like in the Yonkers area, that do more of that. It's easy enough for us to just hop over the Throgs Neck,
Right.
But we're focused on the boroughs.
So, Jay, let me ask you something. In your opinion, are women being accepted in the industries? Because it is a niche, and it is something that you would never think a woman-run business would be.
No.
You know?
I certainly didn't think I would be here. Are they accepted? It is a lot different from 25 years ago. 1,000%. It's not as wild for myself to walk into a building and be received. Whereas many years ago, who is this girl? Why is she here? That kind of a thing. Now it's like, oh, okay, what do you got? You know? So, yes.
You over here.
Are there still barriers to break? Absolutely. Is there still well, she doesn't really know what she's doing, or she doesn't know what she's talking about, or yes.
Really?
Yes. But
they think of you as the sales girl?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. I make sure, especially since COVID, we were essential. So many of the people went remote except for the service guys. And I was able to do a lot of things from home, but I would go into the office like in the morning. We would kind of cut out early. But I had all of the phones forwarded to me, and I've never changed that. So if I'm out bouncing around, you're calling the office, but you're calling me. If you have an emergency in the middle of the night, you're calling the office, you're still calling me. And that helps me keep a pulse on everything that's going on when I'm not around. Right. And also I don't have to worry about, anything really, because I know what's happening. But when people call and they want to speak to the boss, and, they're venting about whatever, which, honestly, because I do run a tight ship, I don't get a lot of disgruntled calls, which is a beautiful thing. That was not the case in the past.
Yeah, Frank.
But,
piss her off.
I can go.
But when they ask for the boss, I'm like, well, you're speaking to her. Unless I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, oh, she's not there. She's not here. But normally I will handle things. But they get all, that happens. And I kind of love that when that happens.
And I think to us, to Bo and I'll speak for Bo, I think we find that so astonishing that people in this day and age cannot get past that barrier. That a woman owns a company, she's the boss, she's running it, she knows what the hell she's talking about. No, I want to talk to the male.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't. And
9 times out of 10, I don't correct them. You know, I have 2 guys that, one runs the shop, one runs the guys. And they are my lifeblood. And I would be nothing without them. And I'm internally grateful. And a lot of times the people calling in think that they're the boss.
Right.
That's also okay because I don't want to deal with whatever it is that they actually, have going on. That's fine. And if that's what they want to believe, and I'm the secretary, if that, I personally, I don't care. It really means nothing to me what you think, or if it's an antiquated situation. I don't, I'm not like, wait a second, and pounding my chest like that. I don't want to make anybody else feel bad either, because a lot of times they will get kind of stuttery and and trip over themselves.
We really, really support women-owned businesses. We have them on roundtables. We discuss them.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it is surprising day and age that she runs a pump and motor, or she runs an electrical company, or
Right.
And
we've had women-owned laundry.
Of course,
service.
everything out there, and that's a great thing.
Well, I have a question. Do you notice a difference in the quality of work or response with a woman-owned company versus a male-owned company? Being on the other side of it?
I do. Listen, for the most part, let's take elevators for example. I don't care who the hell the company is. I want to see the tech. If the tech is good, it comes in there and he fixes the elevator, everything, then I'm fine with the company. I don't even need to speak to the company or
right.
But with the women, I'm more prone not to get angry if something goes wrong. If I do say it, I'm more fun. Hey, how you doing? All right. Listen, we have this problem. Can you do something, please? As opposed to, you idiot, what the hell are you doing over here?
The response is different.
The response is different. But the same level of respect, the same level of ownership and pride, and really, it just comes down to the respect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say because like today I had an issue that I was telling you guys earlier, and yes, I got a quick response from the owner who was a woman-owned. Woman-owned, and she, got her team, and they were all calling me. So I would say,
I think that's really the other thing. We're all looking at the work and at the prices.
Yeah.
Jamie, I'm sorry, man. But I want to see. Okay, how much are you going to charge me for that? All right, let me find that out. Whoa! If you are that high, or there's got to be a reason. If you are low, let's go. It's always in the workmanship. It's always in the pricing.
Yeah.
And as a resident manager, we all have our favorites, companies that we use and want to use and continue to use. But it still comes back to that.
Yeah. Bottom line is the dollar.
Unfortunately, that's what the boards are looking for. And if the economy is really sort of, and we're all confused nowadays anyway, if the economy is doing bad, it's even more so.
Yeah.
But we all get the 3 or 4 proposals, and you never take the bottom one.
I agreed.
Yeah,
we never take them. I don't.
Well, when it comes to that, I'm like, guys, for $1,000 more, this company is a better quality. Why wouldn't you go with them? We're not going to have headaches,
right?
Yeah.
I'm putting myself out there, pulling for your company, so it better be good.
It's excellent.
Right, Frank?
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely. No, I agree. Because again, there's a budget, and and the people who we serve, and I don't want to blame condo owners, but we'll pick condo owners. They're doctors and lawyers and engineers or whatever. They don't know what we're going through, and like Bo said, oh my God, it's $10,000. Yes, but you don't know what it takes to get to the $10,000. What is it that they're doing? And then you got to explain all that. And then, this guy's cheaper. Yeah, but he may be using an inferior part, or don't always go with a cheaper company, because cheap will always be cheap.
Right.
So
and
it's us
also
educating.
From just being exposed to other estimates, because they'll redact the important information. A lot of times they don't actually add up. So that cheaper guy that you're looking at is missing a couple of components that they're going to bang you with at the end, and you're like, so it happens all the time.
Right.
So if you're not paying attention, that slips in, and you're like, oh, cool. So it's more expensive.
Right. Exactly.
Mhm.
And then the headache of getting the cheaper guy who I'll be there on Thursday and it's Friday and it's next Monday and he didn't show up and oh my guy
One guy called out sick. Yeah, I got that once. I'm like, you know what?
Right.
Don't just stay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, guys get sick. We understand that, but it's that quality of service. It's the level of service that we're looking for.
The building doesn't get sick. You
Exactly.
need to fix it. You need to get it going. So if you're going for, sometimes it depends on what the situation is. I love the mom and pop shops.
Mm.
I love them, but sometimes I can't use them.
Right.
You know,
They can't handle it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not. Hey, listen, don't worry about it. I'll get you next time. I just need to get something like that.
Yeah, especially in an emergency situation.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need somebody like who can do it
Mhm.
yesterday and is prepared, which we'll talk about.
Mm.
But I wanted to ask you. You were talking about your guys in the shop. How many guys or trucks or employees do you run?
We have 18 guys spread in between inside and outside. And sometimes we rotate them because we do like to cross train. Some machinists that we
Right.
have are dedicated to that because we don't use any of it's all manual
Right.
machines. We're not.
Really? It's the old lathes?
The
Yeah,
blades
yeah,
and
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
milling machines.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
You coming to the shop?
We gotta come to the
Yeah.
shop.
When we
Oh,
went to high
field
school, when we went to high school, we
Oh.
learned how to operate a lathe.
Yeah, there's no
and milling
CNC
machines
at
and all
Pump and
that.
Motor. Mm-mm.
Like
But
five.
again, limiting the ability
Right.
and finding
Finding some
quality
right.
people that know how to
Hey,
use that.
you
Who knows how
gotta,
to use a micrometer?
I gotta cut something on a lathe. I don't care what it is. I gotta cut something on.
Come
Now
on
you got
down, and you'll see how nice and clean everything is.
There you go. Well,
Yeah,
you gotta have somebody right behind you. clean.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I had
oh,
no idea that was so exciting.
I mean, we grew up with this stuff. I mean, this is our stuff. Well, I mean, I haven't used a lathe and
Yeah. All right. Never mind. We probably
It
don't
sounds
even know what the hell it is
Very.
anymore.
oh, we know.
What about those guys? Now, outside guys, I'm assuming is the service reps. They go out in
Yeah.
the field, and the
Yeah.
inside guys are the ones who handle it and do the inside. How do you find them? I mean, I know you got when you're looking for that person. What are you looking for?
The bar is low.
Really?
The bar is low. Not the machinists.
No,
Right. Yeah.
You know,
No.
But those guys have been with us for
Look at a
years.
starter type
But
of thing.
the guys that are going to go out in the field, we literally start them with sweeping and cleaning the shop.
Okay.
We start low, and they start chipping away at
Right,
ejector
okay.
pumps and
Yeah.
learning how to clean them, and then we teach them about seals, and it's layers and layers and
Right.
layers and layers, and then. If one of the crew is sick, then they'll go out and they'll learn, and they'll be assistant, and they're handing wrenches. And we literally train them from the bottom so that they understand.
Okay.
It's hard when people actually come from other pump companies. And I'm not knocking anybody, but we have a certain way that we do things, and we
Right.
have a certain level of knowledge and care that we expect everybody to have.
Yes.
And work ethic
Yes.
is important.
Very.
It's very important.
Very.
Do you know what she just said about the cleanliness and everything else? I don't know. That is one of the hardest things to do. You just finished 8 hours of doing nothing. I gotta clean everything up now.
No,
You
they
know,
have to
yeah.
send pictures of
Yeah.
the completed job so that I know that it was left properly. Because I don't want anybody
Right.
calling me telling me that
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
garbage in
Right.
their room absolutely not.
Right.
Nobody calls. If nobody ever calls Pump and Motor yelling and screaming. It's a beautiful thing. And I take pride in that
True.
because, you know,
Yeah.
And pumps are a messy job. I mean, you can't get any messier than
and disgusting.
and disgusting. I mean, you have a pit.
I
full of-
know.
you know, I mean-
Something like that.
Mm.
Oh boy.
Really? Oh, we're gonna get in there, and have to pump it out and have to go in there and fix the fellas are all jammed up
Yeah.
with months and months of.
Well, I'm going to get it now. So how do we maintain a good clean pit so that we avoid calling? Not that we don't want to call you, but how do we maintain that pit clean with that sump running? What's the best way to do it?
Just stay on top of it. Don't ignore it.
Mhm.
Most
Oh,
people,
yeah.
most people just ignore them.
They're
You
mostly
put the
covered.
cover on,
Thank you. We never
and
see
you never
it.
think about it again. Work it into your schedule. Put it on the rotation.
Yeah.
Put your eyes on it.
Open it up, see what's in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Or use a lot of enzyme that.
Right. And are the enzymes good? Because you get all these companies that are coming in and they say, "Hey, the enzyme." Do you find that enzymes mess up rubber gaskets, propellers,
No.
or anything like that? And none of that stuff. It's just
No,
it does what
it's
supposed to do.
more, the nonsense that winds up in the pits and,
That's
true. Right.
the disgusting things that people do.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of disgusting pits, how do you maintain yours?
My pit. Pretty good. I take a shower every morning and stuff. 40 years. If I don't know what he's gonna, 40 years. All right.
What about retaining your employees, JB? What do you offer them besides a baseball bat if they don't do their job?
I offer them support.
That's a big thing. Yeah, no, so
Yes.
I offer them support. And, listen, I'm not saying that everything runs smoothly every day, all day long.
Right.
But it's not a wildly spinning, out of control, chaotic environment. It's a safe place. If people have issues, they come to me. If there's a lot of open communication, which is good because I want people to be happy. The guys before that came to the new entity, if they didn't use their time, they would be compensated at the end of the year for vacation time or whatever. I want my guys to take vacation.
Right.
I want you to go and take a break
Yes.
and enjoy your life.
I push for that. Also.
I pay them for working emergencies and anything over, whatever, above and beyond overtime. I take care of them. We always try, if we can, in an emergency situation, to push it to Monday. Because I want that work-life balance for everybody. That's very important to me. And it shows with them too.
Yeah.
But
I can't wait till Monday.
Yeah. Well, no. Every situation is different.
Sure.
But in general, some people hear a noise.
Right.
I'm like, listen, this is not an emergency.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay the emergency fee. We can push this to Monday.
Right.
But it's a family. It's a family environment.
Yeah. That's really, really important.
And you feel it too.
Yeah, when you care about it.
Yeah, we hired a new guy recently. Had some background, but went more into sales. He worked for a company that shut down recently. And he came over, and we didn't know what he was going to be like, how the fit was going to be. We were just like, all right, let's see, And again, you're pushing a broom or handing a wrench.
Sure.
And he wound up being fantastic, pleasant, amazing surprise, and came to me to say how appreciative he was of the environment and the place. And that makes me feel good because I'm like, amazing, cool.
Yeah.
How many? Do you have any clones anywhere? Because I need at least 6 more of you.
Right.
That would be great.
Who wants to work in that kind of environment?
Yeah.
I mean, people do it just for the paycheck. They have to, but there's no need for it.
I do see also when I'm not there, because I don't live in the office. You'll call me. You're going to get me. You don't know where I am.
Right.
But if I'm not there and I walk into the office, I do sometimes see my guys because we're set up in a big room and the 2 main guys are in front of me, and then there's a big window so we can see out into the shop. And I sit behind them. And when I walk into the room, I can literally see their shoulders drop a little. And that because they know, like, I can calm everybody down. I don't want yelling and screaming or any of that. And you can see them actually relax a little bit. I'll be like, I got it, guys. It's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, you figured it might be the opposite. Where
When your boss walks in?
And that's the wrong terminology.
Correct.
That's the wrong method to. If you have to do that, I think you're going to lose a lot of respect for your guys.
We even had a guy retire and move to Florida, and he came back 2 years later and was like, you know what, I miss working here. So,
do you know
amazing.
how many people are doing that?
Oh yeah.
That went to Florida, a year or 2 goes by, and all of a sudden, I can't take it.
Yeah, well, it's Florida.
Well, I tell you what, stay there. because you're not coming back here anymore.
So what are your main jobs now? Is it more commercial? Is it more residential? 50-50?
Well, we don't do like private residential homes. It's all
buildings.
buildings.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
buildings. 50-50. It's
Oh, wow.
it's all of
But
it.
I mean, you wouldn't do it like a regular home. Let's say it's got the word escapes me, but
half a horsepower.
yeah, it's a half up right.
Yeah, but you
That's
go
a
to
Home Depot.
Yeah, thank you.
We're way too expensive.
It's more
for
DIY
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now there are some of those amazing homes like in Manhasset that are full on estates.
Oh,
right.
They have pump rooms and
Sure.
things, and those are
Oh.
the fancy places, the Ohika castles, those types.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
generally, yeah, it's beautiful. We do
Yeah.
the pumps.
Really?
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
But generally, it's the buildings. Anything over 6 stories.
Yeah.
we're gonna-
Yeah, so that's obviously the building's gonna be bigger pumps and stuff.
And like, do you? And I'm sorry, but how about, because I'm thinking as you're saying commercial buildings and all that stuff. How about circulating pumps for the oil? Well, you're not even getting 6 oil anymore. But
No.
did you guys ever do those pumps where
We're all
you ran
water.
through? It's all water.
All water.
Because remember, you have a circulating pump for your boilers.
Yeah.
Who services that?
Oh, it's water.
No, but if it's oil,
Boiler
Yes.
company will serve.
What are you, a freaking dinosaur?
yeah,
Yeah, nobody does oil anymore.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
stop.
Ain't oil anymore.
You
You
know,
still got number 2.
We don't do compressors.
Don't do compare. Okay.
We don't do. I mean, we can do pool pumps for
Really?
Big-
See, I was gonna ask, but no.
big, like Olympic size
Okay.
situations, not your
how
backyard
about
pool.
3/4 Olympic?
Big
I don't think mine's Olympic, but
ones.
it's pretty
big
damn
ones,
big.
when you're like town pools, that kind of
Okay.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Whoa.
because generally
Yeah.
they're so broken down too
Sure,
and
yeah.
corroded. That's just a
Oh,
replacing situation also.
Um,
You have no idea how many calls we get in the summer from homeowners. Do you guys
Yeah.
do pool pumps? Like, no. I mean, if
Yeah.
I had, I should just stock them and
Right,
sell
right,
them.
and sell them, right.
But
I mean, you'd get them from Hayward, right? It's Hayward pools, or Hayward
Right,
pumps, or whatever.
right.
oh my God! I think the one I was looking at, the circulating pump was only like 1 horsepower. 2. I mean, it's a pretty big pool. I actually have 5 feet 6 inches in one area. Woo!
Okay.
Yeah, so you would drown.
I would.
Anyway, what?
Why would I drive?
5'6", man. That's way over here.
I'm Cuban. We
Just
swam.
5'2".
We swam from Cuba. Yeah, I'm Cuban. We don't drown.
You floated.
We floated.
Yeah. Don't make me say it. Oh,
I don't know what that one is.
right here, this one.
Oh, what?
Yeah, right there.
Wow.
What would you say?
Wow. What would you say? That doesn't make any sense. Sets you apart. Oh, what would you say sets you apart? Okay. Because it's all a run-on sentence for this clown.
you guys can scroll in and make it.
Yeah,
bigger.
Yeah.
And he's the one with glasses, no less.
Yeah, I know. What would you say sets you apart from the other pump companies? There you go.
Yeah.
It's a run-on sentence.
It's
Everything
not
is
a run-on.
That's a run-on.
It looked better on my notes.
There you go.
What sets us apart? I would say our responsiveness, our level of caring.
Hmm.
We actually give a shit. It matters. Our quality of work
Right.
matters to us. The guys take pride in what they do.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned before, they send me pictures after every job. I get a before, I get a during, I get an after. That matters, and they like it. And then, Jane, look what we did today.
There you go.
That shows through to all of the resident managers and the people running the buildings.
100%.
They're polite and
Right.
present themselves nicely.
And do they say, "Hey guys, I finished. I'm leaving"?
I hope so.
Because that's one of the things one of my pet peeves. We know Joe is doing whatever X, Y, Z, and whatever, and then an hour later I go look for Joe, and Joe's already got his finish. What happened to Joe?
I mean, they are encouraged to let you guys know. I can't 100% vouch whether or not they are, so I don't want to say anything.
Right.
But
But if they could always stop at the front desk, "Hey guys, I like you. I'm done."
Well, we need you to sign off that we're
Right.
done too, so they should be finding you.
Jamie, should you make that your new logo?
What?
We give a shit? This is a family show.
We give a shit.
Did you tell her that before?
For family.
Okay. But I love that attitude. that's the attitude every owner, everything should have, because we do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is what you're surviving from. This is what this is why you're in the business, of course.
Sure. Absolutely.
I'll give you an even better story.
Wow.
You know, in some buildings, I'm still learning my new staff and everything else. So one day I know there's something going on, and I see a plumber walk in with a hand snake, and I'm like, okay. 20 minutes later, he comes right by my door with the hand snake. He's out. I said, oh, okay, he's finished. 5 minutes later, he's walking by
We're the biggest thing.
with the 1 inch wood cleaver. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where you going? Oh, I'm going up to your apartment. I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I tried the kitchen line with the hand snake. It wasn't working, so I want to try it with this. The thing was about this big.
Going into a
kitchen. I'm like,
into a kitchen
oh,
sink. Right.
hell no. I threw him out. But it goes to show you, your people at the desks, wherever they are, they have to tell you what's going on. Right?
Yes, and that's what we want to say to you guys, RMs and porters and handymen. You gotta use a little common sense with it. Don't always let the guy who says, "Yeah, I know what I'm doing," and next thing you know, he's destroying a 3/4 inch pipe.
Oh my God.
So it goes. Look, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So pay attention to these things. Is what we're saying.
Frank, you know what it's time for?
Wow.
You know what it's time
Oh
for.
yes, hold on. Let me go on the feed there.
Where you gotta go? You gotta change
I gotta ask my question.
that station.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask my question.
Ladies and gentlemen,
If I
it
find
is
it.
time for the Building Talk BTTB. Yeah, Building Talk Tidbit.
All right, I gotta
And
find
today-
it because I
Frank, while he's looking for that on his magical thing
Yes.
called an iPhone.
yes. Just be quick. 'Cause I know
Search.
I got
You
it.
found it? That's a miracle.
Yeah.
Frank, tell us about your tidbit today for the audience.
So everyone, our tidbit today is going to be really quick, and it's again, and you know what it's all about. It's all about our local laws. Okay, so you ready?
Laws?
Local laws.
Laws.
I'm from Brooklyn and I'm Cuban, so it's local laws.
I'll translate later.
Okay, so did you guys know? All right, now check this out, and it's all about the green energy and the green initiatives too, right? That by May 1st, you got to have Local Law 84, Local Law 88, Local Law 97, and Local Law 157 ready to go and rocking and rolling. And if you don't know that, you better do it. Why? What is Local Law 84? I'll tell you. It's
Please.
the annual benchmarking for energy and water usage. Have you done that?
Oh, I'm benched.
Oh, he's benched. Okay. Local Law 88, upgrading lighting systems and sub-metering.
Oh yeah,
I didn't think that was still alive.
Oh well, we have a great
See?
company out there that's doing it. I'm going to plug A Plus Electric, who is going to be doing my
Nice.
building this week.
Nice.
So absolutely.
Right, and these are all things that if they're not ready to go and you don't have it done, they're fines, and they all range from $500 to $2,000, $5,000, whatever.
And that's not fine.
And it's not right. Local Law 97, you all know greenhouse gas emissions reduction. You all know Local Law 97.
Ooh, that was the 97 fairy.
There's
Oh.
a fairy again.
There it goes. Do you know how many times I've told Arnell, when you charge your phone in your office, shut it off, you moron.
And Local Law 157, which is natural gas detectors.
Oh, that's a big one, man.
Right, these are all due by May 1st, guys. So if you don't know them, I give you the laws, look them up, get it done, be ready for May 1st.
22
That was my
days.
tidbit.
22 days.
Yeah,
That's what you got.
that's what you got. So get on the ball, people. Go ahead.
Oh, right. And what about the FU? F
All right. You don't have to yell at me. Jeez.
moments.
Come on.
This is our mental health tip of the show. It's really
Yes.
FUF is for fix yourself first.
Yes.
I wanted to say FUF all the time.
I'm trying to lower this thing for you.
He just I'm gonna hear the radio again. Anyway, I did a fantastic thing, and I figured this is something I should talk about real quick, and I'm just
Yeah.
going to take a couple of minutes.
Absolutely.
When stuff goes in your mind and your mind is spinning, and really sometimes you can't even sleep because you're thinking about what's going on, what's happening, and not necessarily about your career or your business or anything. It could be personal, it could
One
be
second.
emotional.
Usually when the room is spinning, it's because you drank too much. But God, I'm sorry.
Guilty as charged. But anyway, the old saying, take a hike. Well, that's exactly what I did, Frank.
Really?
I took a hike.
Wow.
I didn't go far.
Okay.
I said, you know what? I'm in this new neighborhood. Let me see what the hell is going on. Let me get some fresh air. Let me just get out of the doldrums. Get off the couch. Get off this. TV's not doing it. Nothing gets. Let me get the hell out of the house. Right? I took a walk. I took Bear, my dog, and let's go through Central Park. Oh my God, Frank, the what was it, cherry trees?
Mm-hmm.
Blossoms.
Blossoms. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Absolutely.
wasn't that great. It was a little sun, but it was kind of chilly. They were blossoming. We had tourists from like 20 different countries next 10 feet.
Yeah.
You know, people were taking pictures. I actually felt good. I had, listen, let me take the picture for you. You know? So no matter what country they were from, I was like, hey, where are you from? No, I'm from Mexico, from, what's it? Brazil. There was a couple of Brazilians there, Europeans. And they all have selfies of me because I really wasn't taking pictures.
When they get
You
back.
see? When they get back home, who the hell is this? But it took the mind off. I looked at some beautiful things. You know,
You stopped and you smelled the roses, is that old saying. Remember that old saying? Stop
no,
and
the
smell
roses weren't ready yet.
No, but it's a saying.
But I was
You stopped to
watching
smell
the
the blossoms.
squirrels gather some nuts
Okay.
and everything else. You know,
Pigeons.
pigeons. They had the horse-drawn carriages.
Already?
Oh my! Yeah, they had them out there, man. It was great. They stink. I can't believe how bad they smell.
Hey,
I'm
welcome
like,
to
I'm
New
not
York,
going to take a breath. You know, I'm walking by them going like this.
What was that, Beefarino
But-
from
Beefarino. But I think just the change of environment, change of pace, and to focus on something else, like walking a dog and make sure he's okay, make sure he's there, pick up after him, and you know everything else that you do for them kind of clears the cobwebs a little bit.
100%.
You know?
And you know, and I don't want to disparage companies and boards or anything like that. I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. But you know, you have to think of yourself first, because if you, and I don't want to sound morbid either, but if you're 6 feet under, what's going to happen? Tomorrow you pass away, God forbid. The next day they got somebody else in your shoes.
Always.
Always. And you always have to think of yourself and your family first. And then there's a job. And yes, we all have our responsibilities. We're all responsible. We take our jobs very serious. But if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of everybody else.
And that is the FU.
F. Nice.
Moment.
He thought of that all himself.
I did.
Boom, boom.
And I thank you very much.
Nice.
You know, so
All right, back to our
anyway,
regular stage.
back
There
to
you go.
Jamie, who gives a shit.
She gives a shit. I love
I might do it.
About-
You know, it's catchy.
We give a shit.
So us as RMs, do you have any advice for us, or when should we call you? Not when everything is smoking and it's clogged, and you know what really.
So much advice.
Please, please.
If you have a problem at the end of the season, you will still have that problem the following season when you turn it back on.
Damn
If
it.
you shut it off and it's leaking, screaming, vibrating, any of that, it doesn't fix itself.
Right.
So it is of the most importance that you address things at the end of the season. Listen, if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget, but then you're going to eat up your budget the following season when you are turning things back on. Right now, we're coming up on summer, so everybody should be checking their HVAC systems and getting those cranking. When we are shutting down the heating system, let's address anything that's not good. And let's, start firing things up and address it. Because also what happens, there's one hot day and everybody starts turning things on.
Oh yeah, right.
And we get slammed. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve and still get that amazing response from us, be proactive with your time and what you're doing, because it's important.
Right.
It's big now, as the weather changes, that people are addressing their fans and exhaust systems too. Obviously, that's optimal in the spring and the summer. Don't wait until August to start addressing your fan issues because of supply chains. Those will now push into the winter, and then the accessibility also changes. So we can't get on a roof if
Right.
it's 2 degrees and full of snow.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not going to.
Well, hell,
Right.
neither am I.
I'm not going to jeopardize my guys for that.
Yeah.
So there's like a nuance to the timing. But I think the biggest thing right now is being proactive with your HVAC systems. And if you hear something, listen, our estimates are free. We're happy to pop in and look at anything and let you know you're good. You got 6 months. You need to address this. You know,
Yeah, so you can prepare
that's
at
not
least.
a problem.
Yeah.
We don't want you to call us in an emergency.
Right.
We all want to stay proactive
Right.
about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Jamie, that's
help me help you.
when you just said that leaking, screaming,
Yeah.
and vibrating. That was Frank's nickname in high school. So,
I knew you were gonna go there with that.
so stop feeding me these lines.
You know.
Jamie, seriously though,
You know.
where do you see? Wait, no, you know what? I know Pumping More, but
I just forgot. You know.
no.
Right.
Before I ask that one, has there been many changes in the industry? There hasn't been any new revelations or new pumps or new stuff. We got VFDs, VSDs, DVDs,
Right.
whatever we have.
Not really.
There hasn't been, right? It's
Not
still, we're still
really.
using the same old techniques and pumps, and I hate to
Pretty
say
much.
that. Yeah.
Generally, to service and overhaul your systems versus buying new is always going to be financially in your favor.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same warranty as brand new.
Really?
So, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's something to
for
keep in
us. For us.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
can't speak for anybody else.
Interesting.
No.
Okay.
So that's always a huge selling point
Right.
to the board
Sure.
because
Oh,
why would you
100%.
spend 3, 4, 5 times the amount
Of course.
for something brand new?
Right.
And that brand new might not be anywhere as good
As good.
as what was from 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago.
Listen, I think we agree on that one
Yeah,
100%, as we've been in this industry for a little bit.
And those big
Well-
guys too, you can overhaul them a lot.
yeah.
You can keep it. They are
Sure,
workhorses.
they're
They're
workhorses.
meant to be fixed over and over again.
And you find that buildings that have the VFD drives, do those drives, do the motors last longer, as opposed to an older building where that thing is just cranking all the time because you're staging it, you're going up and down, you're back and forth.
Well,
Interesting.
it goes both ways.
Right, because that's the selling point.
Well,
of a VFD,
the energy
no?
savings
Yeah,
is
right,
the
is
selling
the selling
point.
Yeah.
So that one that's grinding all the time is costing you more money,
Yeah.
essentially.
Right.
So but they still. It's a good question. It really depends on the situation. It really depends on how much that system is being used. It is helpful energy-wise
Right.
with the panels.
Not
But-
the motor wise starting at, I don't know, whatever the frequency may be, or hertz is going at, whatever, and then
Well, you're going to
Wrap
get
it
that
up.
change at certain times. Early in the
On
morning,
demand,
people
right.
on demand water,
Right.
Everything else. But the rest of the days, you should be at a certain level. If you're going up and down,
True,
you
true,
got something
It should
wrong.
be maintained.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Anyway, pump and motor. What do you see them 5, 10 years from now? Tell yourself.
I think I would like to expand a little bit and maybe scoop up a plumber and an electrician to make it more of a one-stop shop,
Nice.
make it easier for you guys and have
Yeah.
all of that.
Right.
That has definitely been in my peripheral
Yeah.
for sure.
No,
Um,
it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
It really does.
now there are a lot of older owners that are looking to go, and the kids don't want it, and I think it's a golden opportunity to, scoop it up and just kind of add it to the portfolio.
Right.
Whether or not it happens, TBD. But there's opportunity.
It's always
Nice. Yeah.
This is it.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Frank,
great.
Time.
it's that time, man.
Oh, he's got
This is the moment.
Here you go.
Yeah. I only have one. Oh, well, yeah, we do
You
have
do,
two.
of course.
I'm sorry.
Of course.
But the first question is where most people and always tune in. They stop us in the middle of the street. I was
Yes.
walking across the street one day. Somebody stopped me and we almost got hit by a car.
No,
that was me. I was hoping you'd be hit by a car. So,
You know.
if Frank or Bo
flowers.
were your technicians,
Oh boy.
Oh.
mhm, who would you put into the ejector pit first?
Well, you said he floats well, right?
Yay! I won. Bo.
She just said I floated. That's all. That was it.
Bo won.
It's like number 3.
I just-
at 90-something shows. He's only won 3.
Oh.
And I love all of them.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So he's a floater. You little floaty bugger. I'm
Turning
just gonna
red.
take a stick and poke you under a few times.
You know.
Although, if he's the floater and you're the sinker,
Right.
we got to get you to the bottom to figure out what the problem is. So
Uh-huh.
it might be more advantageous for you to go in.
Here you go. Here you go.
I'm not floating. Bitch. Jamie, I like you there for about 2 minutes. All right. I get
Well,
it.
you're
I get it.
floating. You're a sinker,
I
man.
get Damn it, Jamie. What?
I
What?
got to keep it balanced.
Oh, listen, I agree with you.
What's that Christmas poo?
Mr. Hanky?
Mr. Hanky. The Christmas poo. She knows.
Oh,
Her and I are on the same wavelength. Even made an album.
I'm blind, so that's so. We have the show segment, which people love, and it's the
Mhm.
WTF moment.
Mm.
The what the Frank
Moment.
It's basically anytime something happens, and you're like, oh my God, did that really happen?
Yep.
Could be funny. We don't like sad. We really don't
No,
like
we had one
sad.
sad one, right?
Oh my God.
I know.
Oof, oof. But it's more a lighthearted moment, like some of those things that, oh my God, you got to be kidding me moments. Uh-oh.
Have you had one?
Oh, shit.
Could be anything.
I recently had a bizarre experience.
And it wasn't this show.
No.
I just wanted to point that out.
No.
Okay.
That'll be for the next podcast. We'll talk about this experience. I had a resident manager call that was a little unhappy with the situation,
Okay.
and he was heated, and I'm not used to that because people don't call upset.
Right.
And I was
Mhm.
trying to talk him off a ledge and come up with solutions, and ultimately I came up with an excellent solution. And he,
Radio's on that side.
Oh.
Turn mine up.
I ran into him, and he asked me out, and I thought that was bizarre.
What?
Yeah. Well, you wanted a WTF.
Oh.
And I thought that was a very bizarre situation to go from screaming and yelling at me
Right.
to then
Hey, what are you doing
an
tonight?
innocent proposal.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait. I'm macho. You see, I can yell at women all the time. Hey, babe, what are you doing tonight?
I was so I just didn't expect it, and I was like, oh, thank you, no, thank you. So that was definitely a WTF moment for me because the door was not open
Right,
by any means.
Right.
But you ask about, the man, woman in this industry thing, that part is still very much there.
Huh.
And it was
Interesting.
surprising.
Was he single at least?
I didn't give it enough energy to find out. I was,
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, no.
We unfortunately have those moments.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've heard
Yeah.
a few.
Hey, listen, I guess shoot your shot, but it was just a strange chain of events because even if I was single and wanted to engage, you're yelling and screaming at me, and why on earth would I say yes to that?
Right.
Luckily, I'm married and dodged a bullet. So.
There you go.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Wow. And her husband's bigger than Frank.
Yeah.
All right. What did I say?
But Anyway, Jamie, you want to tell anything to the people out there, to all the resident managers and property managers?
Yeah, where can they
general
find
managers?
you? How do they get in touch
Right.
with you?
Sure.
Anything that we might have left out?
Um,
Besides the excellent service, the responsiveness, the fact you get Jamie on the phone. And no, don't ask her out.
yeah, it's gonna be a hard no.
And never forget that this lady gives a shit.
Yes.
We're gonna
Yes.
we should make a T-shirt for her.
I'm telling you. Please.
Final notes.
Yes.
Final notes. I have found that people claim to have emergency service and they in fact do not. I answer the phone and will help to assess the situation for you, determine if it is a real emergency, and get a response. And that is obviously invaluable to you guys, but a lot of people will claim that they have this service, and that's not the case. So I do want to make that clear. If you are, a lot of times people will come and ask us for maintenance contracts, but they don't understand that we have to get you to a level playing field before we can offer that contract.
Thank you.
So we have to fix a couple things,
Right.
and then yes, absolutely, we are happy to offer that to you. But again, about being proactive and taking care of the things that weren't addressed in the past is huge. It's going to make a difference. And also, those maintenance contracts are not magic, because if it turns, it's going to break.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
So that will help you. And then you also know that you're at a baseline. So you're not just spinning out of control.
And where can they find you?
You can call the office. You can find us online at pumpandmotor.com, or, just call the office. It's easy.
There you go.
That's it.
That was it.
Hey, excellent. Frank,
Yes.
I think
Yes, dear.
we'll give you one more shot at the newsletter. Go ahead, buddy. Take it away.
No. You did
So
that.
anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, you know where you can find us, right? Which
Yeah.
is www.buildingtalk.ny.
See, that is our website. Check us out every single Tuesday. And look, we know that we've been slacking off a little bit, but Bo's been really, really busy.
Yes.
And it's not an excuse, but we're working on it, and that's why it's giving me time to work on my newsletter, which is great. And I'd love for you guys to read it, subscribe if you want to, tell everyone that you know. Check it out if you like it. You don't like it, you don't have to. But
Tell them anyway.
it's about really helping our industry, just like what we're doing with our podcast. It's guiding our guys, because we see that, and I think Jamie will attest to that. It's hard to find people who are qualified. It's hard to find people who want to get their hands dirty nowadays, who want to go into this industry. Because a lot of people that go, oh yeah, I could be a super, and then when they get into it, they're like, holy shit, this ain't as easy as I thought it was. Oh yeah, I got a free apartment. It's not just about the free apartment. It's a lot that goes behind it, and you need to get educated, and you need to follow up, and you need to be on top of so many things that are going on a daily basis. And if you're not ready for it, don't tarnish the industry. Maybe the right word, or maybe the wrong word. Because we always want professionals, people who give a shit about what they're doing, and that's what we do. And this is, that's who we are. And everybody at this table gives a shit of what they do and why they do it, because we still wouldn't be sitting at this table if it's not what we do and what we love. It's our passion. And we've been doing it forever. So, but anyway, check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple Radio. Where else? We're on iHeartRadio. We're on YouTube. Wherever you can find us, that's where we're at. I already did that. While you were busy over there, I was doing my job. Did you do that? Yes, I did. Oh, man. I'll give you props for that. Okay. Well, we're going to take it away. And remember, Building Talk, it's always good listening. Later. And we give a shit, don't we?